Hope is not a strategy. Luck is not a factor. Fear is not an option. The nation that leads in renewable energy will be the nation that leads the world. The future is not set. There is no fate but what we make. Curiosity is the most powerful thing you own. Failure is an option, fear is not. I am king of the world. Sometimes your whole life boils down to one insane move. Pick up a camera. Shoot something. No matter how small, no matter how cheesy, no matter whether your friends and your sister star in it. Put your name on it as director. Now you're a director. Your only competitors are your past achievements. Your imagination can create a reality. People call me a perfectionist, but I'm not. I'm a rightist. I do something until it's right, and then I move on to the next thing. A woman's heart is an ocean of deep secrets. What are you gonna do? Talk the alien to death? Tread softly upon the earth because the faces of the unborn look up at you. Go home, pick up your video camera, and make a film. Old Rose, it's been 84 years, and I can still smell the fresh paint. The china had never been used. The sheets had never been slept in. Titanic was called the ship of dreams, and it was. It really was. The magic doesn't come from within the director's mind, it comes from within the hearts of the actors. I love it when I have a nightmare. To me that means I got my money's worth out of it 8 hours. But failure has to be an option in art and in exploration, because it's a leap of faith. And no important endeavor that required innovation was done without risk. You have to be willing to take those risks. It's about human imagination and curiosity. What's out there? What's in the great beyond? What exists at levels we can't see with our 5 senses? Here's my philosophy in life: if there's a fire, you put it out. If there's a flood, you fill sandbags and you build a dike. You roll up your sleeves and you get to work. A director's job is to make something happen, and it doesn't happen by itself. So you wheedle, you cajole, you flatter people, you tell them what needs to be done. And if you don't bring a passion and an intensity to it, you shouldn't be doing it. I guess Titanic because it made the most money. No, I'm kidding. I don't really have a favorite. Maybe Terminator, because that was the film that was the first one back when I was essentially a truck driver. The universe is like a giant bank vault lock, where the tumblers are constantly moving, and once in a while the tumblers line up and you have to listen for the click. So you must be prepared in that moment to step through the door. I dreamed I was a soldier who could bring peace. However, sooner or later, you must always wake up. When you feel that anything is possible, sometimes you end up acting on it. As the ship docked, I descended teasingly. "This is crazy. I know it doesn't make sense, that's why I believe it." Writing a screenplay, to me, is like juggling. It's like, how many balls can you get in the air at once? All those ideas have to float out there to a certain point, and then they will crystallize into a pattern. I did a lot of scuba diving. I love being in the sea, under the sea. I live next to the sea. If you wait until the right time to have children, you will die childless, and I think filmmaking is the same thing. You just have to take the plunge and start shooting something even if it's bad. Making the audience cry for the Terminator at the end of T2, for me that was the main purpose of making that film. If you can make the audience feel emotion for a character that in previous films you hated and feared so much, then it's a cinematic. So much of sci-fi literature is about creating a world that is rich and detailed and makes sense on a social level. We will create a world for people and then present a narrative in that world. I actually started out as a model maker and quickly progressed to production design, which makes sense since I can draw and paint. But I kept my eyes on the guy there who moved the actors and arranged the shoot. I wish we could study the oceans before we destroy them. I didn't see the script. I just wrote them. If you want to move through virtual reality, it's called a video game. It's been around forever. You know, in the filmmaking business nobody ever gives you anything. It was so long ago in my life as a humble reporter that I decided that facts shouldn't get in the way of the truth. You can't be an environmentalist, you can't be an ocean guard without actually walking the streets, and you can't walk in the world of the future, the world in front of us, the world of our children, not eating plant-based foods. Nature is not our enemy, it is our sustenance, and we need it. And we need a healthy nature for us to be healthy and survive in the long term. You're so stupid, Rose. Jack Dawson. To convince people to support your idea, you have to sell it to yourself and know when it's time. Sometimes that means waiting. It's like surfing. You don't create energy. You just harvest energy that is already out there. You can't really call yourself an environmentalist if you still eat animals. You can. Don't be tempted by your own things. Work hard to keep your mind blank every time you watch your movie. Every time you dive, you expect to see something new. Some new species. Sometimes the sea gives you a gift, sometimes it doesn't. God wears a white flannel. If it was up to the studio, everything would be shot with a camcorder. Hate is a disease, and in 1930 I became sick with hate. It's important for me to have hope because that's my job as a parent, to have hope, for my kids, that we're not going to leave them in a messy world. It's a messy place, it's a dangerous place. Inspiration can hit your head at any time in any context. It can happen in conversation. Talking to someone at a party, you can get an idea. But you have to remember that inspiration